Alright, Guru Nation, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. I'm here at the Airbnb in Orange County, California, wrapping up a work trip, and I got asked a question on Instagram from somebody, and I thought I could give my own perspective on this. So, just started as a CRA, and I'm really overwhelmed with the workload and monitoring. Any tips? So, I want to preface this with I've done my fair share of monitoring, but I've never monitored for like one of these large CROs where they micromanage everything. I've only monitored for as an independent contractor where they basically give you full autonomy. Hey, just make sure the data is reviewed. Like that's literally the instructions I received. Or even less autonomy for my own CRO, which now my interns do at the CRA Academy. So this advice may not apply if you actually work for like a big CRO where they micromanage your every move, which a lot of them do when you are brand new. But some of the things that helped me that I don't think you'll hear from other places are, and at least initially, what's helped me was situational monitoring. So rather than being overwhelmed with everything all at once, and I'm going to have the CRA coach Daniel Regan on later this week. We're going to talk about a lot of things. This will come up. But rather than like just getting overwhelmed and learning everything at once, what I do, what I have done is situational monitoring. So if I'm going to do a site initiation visit, I want to really make sure I understand the protocol. I want to really make sure I understand as much as I can about the investigational product. So like try to read the investigator brochure, try to have answers when the clinicians ask you things, at least know how to pronounce the drug names, and at least know how or at least know what some of the most important con meds are for that indication. Like you want to actually appear knowledgeable at these SIVs, because remember, clinicians are there. Clinicians are still like, they haven't really learned the study yet. So they're going to be asking you questions. Same thing with the site selection visit, by the way. But SIV, I've known from experience, clinicians tend to ask. So if you're unprepared, you can get caught off guard with some of the questions they'll ask you. Hopefully you know like the basics of how to do an SIV. So now you need to focus more specifically on the actual protocol. Then when it comes to interim monitoring visits, again, situational monitoring. Try to know in advance, were there any deviations? Are there any outstanding queries? Were there any new SUSARs? Were there any new SAEs? Those are the things, like at every IMV, that you want to focus on first. Another thing that I would recommend is investigational product IP accountability. Do not put that off. Try to be consistent with doing investigational product accountability every time you do a monitoring visit, because if you put it off, you're going to be extremely overwhelmed when you do end up doing it and you haven't been keeping up. So those are my suggestions for you. It's really like situational. It's every site really should be monitored differently, and you won't know that initially, but you will know that later. And once you start finding mistakes, pay attention to those mistakes. Like make sure that the site doesn't repeat those mistakes. Sites tend to make the same mistakes over and over again until somebody, usually a CRA, trains them on the proper way of doing whatever it is that they're making the mistake on. And not every site makes the same issue. Like you might have one site that just gets a lot of temperature excursions. You might get another site that's repeating the same deviation over and over. So situational monitoring really helps. I think the thing that's going to integrate into all of this is like, and this is not something I'm good at, it's being organized. Like you need to be extremely organized. I would have a tracker somehow. Maybe your CRO will provide the tracker, or maybe you make it yourself. I've heard Daniel Regan talk about this before. Of all the essential documents, so this is like organization on the regulatory side, all the essential documents that need to be updated. So GCP, when do they expire for every staff member? IATA, when do they expire for every staff member? CLIA, when do they expire? Medical licenses for the PI and the sub-ICE, when do they expire? new protocol amendments and trainings? Did they sign the protocol training form? Those kind of things, your in-house CRA and your remote site monitor, depending on what CRO you work for, should be tracking. So it should make your life a lot easier. So then you could focus on the things I had previously mentioned. But if not, like when I was an independent contractor, I had to do a lot of that stuff myself. It pays to be extremely organized. And if you do have somebody who's going to be doing that for you in-house, maybe in-house CRA or remote site monitor, then you can spend more time and get organized as far as the site's deviations, informed consents, the latest amendments, when people are going to be randomizing, why they screen filled, the people that randomized, did they actually qualify? Those are the very basic but important things to look for when you're a monitor. So it can get overwhelming. There's really no way around it when you're new, and even when you're experienced. If it's a new protocol, even though you're an experienced CRA, the protocol is new for you, and every protocol has its own pitfalls. So hopefully that helps. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.